Welcome, everybody, to the Glenn Kuiper Show on a Tuesday night post-game edition after Game 2 of the National League Championship Series, which was won by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a fun show, a couple of very special guests who we will introduce in just a moment. We'll talk about the game tonight. We'll talk about the careers of the two gentlemen that are joining me tonight and get a little update on what is going on in Giants land with the managerial search. So we have lots of good things to talk about. But before that, let's get to our sponsors. The Glenn Kuiper Show is brought to you by the Kehrig Real Estate Team, who have been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service since 1978. Contact Mike Kehrig today for a free home sale or purchase consultation. You can call Mike at 925-548-4132, and the website is kehrigteam.com. We are also brought to you by Tilden Properties. As an investor, one of the best places to put your money is California's multi-family real estate. By investing with Tilden Properties, you'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. Give them a call today, Tilden Properties, at 925-209-8558. And we are brought to you by Valone Insurance. Are you tired of being overcharged on your property insurance? Valone Insurance has multiple options for your home and landlord properties. Save big money on your property insurance. Call Kyle or Ron at Valone Insurance, 925-438-8772. So we appreciate the sponsors as always, and it's time to get on with the show as we are looking forward to what should be a fun night of talking baseball, as we will do it with the two gentlemen that, they're well-known and well-loved. Kruk and Kuip, not just one of them, but both of them are joining me tonight, and we are happy with that. Mike Krukow from the great city of Reno, Nevada. Duane from the great city of Lafayette, California. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me. How are you?
Well, everything's good.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's going great. I appreciate you two guys coming on.
Yeah, it's good to see Mikey. Mikey, it's good to see your face.
I know we need a game to do, Smooth.
You guys can't help yourself. Unfortunately, we do have to start with the NLCS game that just finished. Final score, Dodgers 5, Brewers 1. Guys, this is starting to scare me a little bit because now I'm starting to look around and wonder, can anybody slow down the Dodgers? I know it's only 2 games into the 7-game series, but as hard as it is to watch, they really, really look good. What did you guys think of the game?
Well, Mike, let me start out by first of all saying I have a disclaimer. Innings 1, 2, and 3, I was playing building magnets. Innings 4, 5, and 6 was Legos, and then the 7th inning I was coloring, and the 8th inning I was holding on to the new grandchild. But I still managed to watch. And when you get involved in a pitcher's duel, it really doesn't matter what you're doing. You can still see that one guy is dominating the team, and that's what Yamamoto did.
Well, I was counting on you to carry the weight here. I was taking a dump for 9 innings.
How'd that go?
That's what the Brewers just did.
You know what? It's unbelievable how you look back what Dave Roberts has done with his coaching staff and how he has really kept the big prize right in the back in the back of everybody's mind on that club, because they went through a lot of injuries. They had a lot of people on the IL, but they just got everybody back and ready for the postseason. And they are firing on all pistons. They're playing beautiful baseball. They were getting all the breaks in the Philly series. The matchup that they had with the Reds was just a mismatch. And now the Brewers are getting breaks and the Dodgers are still winning games. Mm-hmm. And you ask why the pitching that we've seen these last 2 games with Blake Snell and Yamamoto has been so dominant. They've allowed 1 run in 17 innings. They've been remarkable. And they also have that bonding chemistry where it's the Dodgers against the world, because everybody in baseball wants them to lose. Everybody, not just Brewers fans. When they win those first 2 games against the Brewers, every Giants fan in the country is in agony. And you could say that about every team that is in all of the big leagues. They're just that good. And to take them down, the Brewers are going to have to play a much more inspired offensive game than we've seen the first two games. And I don't even know if it's possible with the pitching that they've seen.
Well, the other problem is, going into the series, the Brewers hadn't lost to the Dodgers. They were 6-0 during the regular season. But you have to take into account that the Dodger team right now is not the same team that the Brewers played in those 6 games. And a lot of it has to do with Blake Snell. And once he set the tone last night, now you've got the domino effect of Glasnow, and you saw the guy tonight. And you know what? Right now, the way it looks is if the Brewers can win one game in this series, I think they'll be lucky.
Yeah. I mean, Brewers two hits in game. Yeah, two hits in game 1, 3 hits tonight, so 5. And then this is a good Brewers offense. I mean, they scored a lot of runs this year, but I mean, they have gotten, nothing going, and I think that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Well, there's not that many hard hit balls. We know Blake Snell. The Giants had Blake Snell, and they watched him when he was with Tampa. They watched him when he was with the Padres, and they got a firsthand look at him. And the thing about Snell that we know, he's a 4-pitch guy: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. All of them can make you swing and miss. When he starts off a game, his key is the fastball. When you watch his release, if he's establishing the knee-high location with the fastball, you're screwed because everything else follows. With that knee-high location, his release point is out front. It's where it needs to be. And he's able to not only locate around the knees, but he can go right in on the hands in the strike zone. And guys can't get swings off hitting from the right side. And then, oh, by the way, he'll drop a curveball, slider, or a changeup on you and make you look foolish. And we thought when we saw him with the Padres the second half of the season, he was the best pitcher that we'd seen that year. And we felt that way when he was healthy. And he had his command of his pitches with the Giants. And he's doing the same thing now. When he's right, he's better than anybody as far as I'm concerned.
The Dodgers strike me, too, as a team. I think they are so confident in how good they are that do you really think at any point in this regular season that they were ever worried about the Giants or the Padres or ever concerned that when it was all said and done, they would get healthy and they would win the National League West? They just strike me as, and you got to give them credit for it because they're so talented, but, they love it when everybody's cheering against them, but they just look like a team that knows they're great. And from day one, they don't worry about anything except getting to the postseason, making sure you're healthy. And now, it's all sort of coming together for them.
I do think there was a point during the season that the Padres put a little bit of a scare into them. And, but it wasn't for very long.
Yeah.
And, look, Mike was right. Throughout the course of the season, Dave Roberts is just sitting there thinking, look, we got a bunch of people that are getting healthy. And we're not thinking about getting healthy for the regular season. We're waiting for everybody to get healthy for the postseason. And that's how they went about their business. And that's why they are where they are right now, because, Glasnow wasn't there the whole year. Snell wasn't there the whole year. Now they're all there. And the only thing that if they get past this round, and it sure looks like they will, when they get into the World Series, it's still going to be up to those starters because the bullpen can be a little bit weird, even though they got the great arms, but it still can get a little bit weird.
Well, I agree with you with the Padres. I mean, there was a time in August, I think it was the first week or second week of August, they left San Francisco, and I said on the morning show on KMBR, there wasn't any doubt in my mind that the Padres were going to win the National League West. And 6 weeks later, the Dodgers went right by him. Right by him.
They did.
And they have such a quiet confidence, and that's their biggest weapon. They know they're great. They know that they can beat anybody. When they're playing well through all track, because the big prize was the postseason. And they're all there now. I mean, some of these guys are a little screwed up in the bullpen. Their mechanics aren't right. Last year, they won a world championship, and their starters averaged 3.2 thirds innings. 3.2 thirds innings. Three.
Yeah.
And now it's the exact opposite. They're riding the arms of their starters, and they've dominated like we haven't seen. I mean, really, think about it. When's the last time you saw a team this dominant? This team is more dominant so far this year in the postseason than they were last year when they won it all.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. They're
And-
3-5. They're 7-1 now in the postseason, I think. That's right? Yeah. 5, 6,
Yeah,
7, 7.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sick of talking about them. I want to puke, to be honest with you. I do.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't want to
It's
spend.
amazing, but you got to give credit where it's due.
So game 3 will be Thursday. Dodgers will throw Glasnow or Ohtani, and then whoever doesn't pitch will start game 4. So they're all lined up. The Brewers don't even know who they're going to throw. They've used six pitchers in each game, so everything's set up. And one last thing, I think we don't know what's going to happen in the American League Championship Series, but obviously Seattle's in a great spot going home with a 2-0 lead. And Seattle may be the only team that's starting pitcher-wise could somewhat stay with the Dodgers, because the Mariners have a good young starting staff. They got some guys that are very good. If that is indeed what ends up being the World Series, but it's just hard to think of somebody that can derail this train that's just blowing down the tracks. That's the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens, but a little work.
You know what, Glenn? I think Seattle can. I mean, look, it seemed like it was years ago, but the Giants opened up their home opener against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And the Seattle team then is a whole lot different than the Seattle team right now because of what they did at the trading deadline. You know, when they got the first baseman, they got the third baseman from the D-backs, and now their lineup, they got a tough lineup. Yeah. I had no idea Jorge Polanco was as good a player as he is. No idea. And this guy now is since he's become a star. Yep. So I do think, look, the Blue Jays, when the Giants opened up the second half of the season in Toronto, it really looked like the varsity against the JV team. That's how good the Blue Jays were. And so they're really good. And you know what? They absolutely can come back in this series. But Seattle just looks like it's got some magic to it. Yeah. And it kind of looks like those teams that the Giants had when they won those world championships, just because of the camaraderie and some of the things they're doing. And you know what? So I'm a big fan of Seattle. And look, I'm from Milwaukee. I'd like to see the Brewers get there, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And now I'm a big Seattle fan right now.
Well, keep in mind too, though, it's a short series. I mean, even though it's a 7-game series, it's still a short series, and things can turn around in one game. You're down 2 games. I mean, remember when the Giants in 2012 were playing the Reds, and the Reds had a great team, and they come into San Francisco, and it's a 5-game series. They're going to play the first 2 games in San Francisco, and they took both games. The Giants lost both games at home, and then they headed out to Cincinnati, where they hadn't had much luck there playing like the previous 3 years. So everything was stacked up, and yet they won 1 game, and it turned the whole thing around. And it can happen that way with the Brewers. The Brewers are, they're a confident team. They beat the Dodgers 6 times. I mean, they had a great year. Pressure's on them to do that in that third game. If they win that game, they're right back in it. No. And I think the pitching that Seattle has is superior to anybody else in the American League. I think that gives them a chance against everybody. I do think they have a lot of swing and miss in their lineup, however. And that's where I think the Blue Jays have an advantage. I think they put the ball in play as well, statistically better than anybody else in the big leagues. And that plays against good pitching. So I do think that we're going to see some drama. The Dodgers have not allowed any drama so much as the one loss they had to the Phillies. Other than that, they've been pretty dominant, but it can all change quickly.
Yeah. And let's hope so. Let's hope we, like to see it at least stretch out a little bit and take these series a little deeper, which is always enjoyable. So, all right, enough about that. Enough about how good the Dodgers are. So you guys, 2.5 weeks into the off season, how long does it take you guys to readjust? I know when I was doing the A's, man, it's such an abrupt ending to the season where you work so much and then it just changes the next day. You guys have been doing this a long time. What's the adjustment period to get back to what we like to say normal life, non-baseball life for you guys?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Smoothie, you're kind of breaking up on me a little bit. You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike.
Okay. Well, my wife always tells me 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I mean, it was when I used to come back, like when I was living in San Luis Obispo, which is, a 3-hour drive from San Luis to San Francisco. Well, Jennifer would stay back with our 5 kids and, I would be there. They would join me when they were out of school. And then when they went back to school late August or first part of September, then I was on my own. When I would come home, it would be 2 weeks because she had her own set of rules. She's a single parent raising 5 kids. So when I came in, I had my rules. Well, I had to realize in 2 weeks that my rules did not hold weight. Her rules were the rules. And it took me 2 weeks to get used to her rules. And then it was smooth sailing. Well, it's the same thing. Only all 5 kids are out of the house. It's still her rules. And when I come home from the season, it takes me 2 weeks, and then we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, for me, it's and we've all been in this business a long time. It is so busy for 7 months, and then there's nothing going on for 4 or 5, and look, for the 7 months it goes really fast. For the 5 months, you don't think it's going fast, but all of a sudden you're making plans to go to spring training, or you got Christmas, and then you got the Super Bowl, and you got Christmas, New Year's, Super Bowl. And then, it used to be the Fan Fest for us. And then here you are, you're getting on a plane to go to Arizona. But I don't know, Mike, I think I told you just the other day that boredom is set in and I'm ready to do a game. And that's a lot earlier than usual. So maybe it's because you and I are definitely on the back nine of our careers. And who knows how many games we got left just where it's me and you. And that's why I'm really anxious to get going again. I really am.
I know I used to think I needed time off, but I don't have too much fun. And there's always something about every game that we do that is something we've never seen before. And it surprises you and it elates you at the same time. I just love that about the game of baseball. And, when you come home from the season, I mean, that surprise, that puts a smile on your face. I mean, you find it a different way, but it's not the same thing. And so I really, if you'd have said, hey, you want to go do winter ball? I mean, hell yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Really?
Just to have another game.
Yep, absolutely.
Kind of how we roll. And so what next year? What do we have? We got winter ball now. I can't wait for the Caribbean World Series.
So you guys have been doing this for a long, long time, and I'm convinced because I remember I mean, I was with Ray Fosse for 15 years, and I knew exactly what he was going to say. If we were in a specific city, I could lead him to something, and I knew exactly what he was going to talk about, which was always kind of fun, right? Do you guys have to be at the point where you got a pretty good idea what each other are going to say? Am I off base there?
Yeah, it's probably been that way for the last 25 years. I mean, I know what makes Mike laugh. He knows what makes me laugh. I mean, the whole point is that I've always said this is if I can entertain him and he can entertain me, there's a very good likelihood that we're entertaining the people at home.
That's great. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And, I mean, when you look at a baseball game, the ball is only in play for a short period of time. And that's why when Mike said, it's likely that, we'll see something every game that we haven't seen before. And it's really true. And it's not just with stuff on the field. I mean, we've been working with with Jim Lynch and my brother Jeff and our camera crew. They've been the same guys our whole broadcasting lives.
Yep.
We're going to see something in the stands we've never seen before. And that's going to entertain people at home. So yeah, I mean, look, I've also said it before, we're an old married couple. We could win the newlywed game. And I don't have any problems with that.
No, nor do I. But I will give you an example of it right here. We'll be sitting here, and it'll be a windy day out at Oracle Park, and all of a sudden there'll be one napkin that rolls across the infield, and you can see it. It stands out. One piece of paper blows, and I'll say, "Gee, look at the paper. It kind of reminds me of Candlestick Park." And you see papers and everything, and it just reminds me of Candlestick Park. And Kuip would say,
well, yeah, that Safeway bag that used to blow from right field to left field. And I could never figure out what was inside of that. What was inside of that, Mike?
yeah, turkey. But I mean, that's just shtick that never gets old. And it's a story that we've told 100 times. And, but I mean, there'll be something every year at some game. We'll bring it back up again and throw it back out there. And we've got, a ton of those things.
Look, if it doesn't make the folks at home happy, it makes us happy. And at our age, that's the only thing that matters at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I tell you what, Mike, I mean, you've entertained us all both you guys have for a long time. But the one thing that in all the years of listening to you do color, in my opinion, the funniest thing you've ever done, and you still do it occasionally, it makes me laugh so hard, is when you are imitating the guy yawning in the stands.
Hey, Glenn, and then we had the one game where the guy did it, and then his wife did it.
His wife did it, yeah.
And then I'm not as good at it as Mike, but I tried to do it, and I totally sucked at it. But it was just funny because we both did it at the same time.
I would laugh at that 10 times a day. That, and when you do the 3 home run calls right in a row is phenomenal. Those are the things when 20 years from now, I'll remember those things from you, Mike, and it'll make me laugh still. The yawning guy and Duane, John, and Dave's home run call. I don't know how you do it, but they are spot on, perfect. And just so you know, it's entertained me for a long time, and I've spent quite a bit of time across the bay. But the yawning guy is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. It just makes.
And from Mike, look, I'm not going to speak on behalf of him, but that was totally spontaneous.
Absolutely, it was.
And it was so doggone funny. I literally can't stand it. when I think about when it happened the first time, we had a longtime scout. You guys remember Lee Elder, right? So we did the show, right? And Lee Elder, I think he was, I don't know where Lee lived. Lee lived back east somewhere, but he was Brian Sabian's #1 scout. But the first time we saw Lee after Mike had done that, he's like, Lee said, I was sitting in bed with my wife, and Mike did the rhino yawn. He said, I almost fell out of bed. I laughed so hard. And
So
Lee Elder was one of the great storytellers,
Yeah.
and he just recently passed away. But God dang, it was so funny.
So, Mike, just think about that. Think of all the things you've said on the air in 30 years, all the great breaking down the pitches and doing this great color. And the thing you're going to be remembered for is not even saying anything. It's just, as Duane said, a rhino yawn. That's going to be the top of all time.
Rhino yawn. And I have no problem with that. But you know that the home run call is ever evolving, because you think about, I mean, I'm working with the best play-by-play guys in the business, and there's a guy who has obviously Duane's call is so iconic now, every Giants fan can do it, and John Miller's is the same. It's a Hall of Fame call. Dave's call is just so Dave, and it was one of the biggest calls of a home run in the history of the Giants. And then Erwin Higueros, who is the voice of Spanish baseball for the Giants, his call is amazing. So we're doing the Buster Posey BP28 dinner for the fundraising to the Benioff Hospital for children's research of cancer. And you and Duane have been having fun with the home run calls at the Friday Night Kuip's function that you do every Friday home game of a Giants series, home series. And so this happened when we were at the BP28 dinner. We were going to do it. So all of us were going to do the home run call. Well, Erwin gets up there, and it's really the first time I heard it face to face. I mean, I heard it on the radio, but so now Duane goes, well, you're going to do your home run call. Well, I can't do John and Duane's and Dave's without Erwin's. So on that particular night, it was Matt Chapman is swinging ahead. He hits it high. He hits it deep. He hits it out of here. Adios, pelota. Oh, quadrangular. Gone.
That's pretty good, Mike.
Yeah. I think that home run call alone at the auction raised about $20,000. It was unbelievable.
That is great. All right, let's get close to wrapping this up. What are you guys thinking about this Giants manager search? Awfully quiet around here, Mike. Duane and I have talked a little bit about it. You never know what that means, that we're not hearing a lot, but certainly quiet. What are you guys' thoughts on the managerial search?
Smooth?
Well, I mean, quiet to me means that they're still interviewing people and they're still thinking about what they really want to do. And look, nobody should be in a real big hurry unless there are other teams looking for managers that are thinking about the same people that you're thinking about. And then you kind of have to speed things up a little bit. But look, we've known Buster for a long time, and Zach Menashian, and they're not going to rush into anything. They're going to do their due diligence. So that's what they're doing. I have a lot of faith in those two, and we'll see what happens. But it is, you're right, Glenn, really, really quiet right now.
Mike,
when we were players, to be fully vested for your pension, you had to play 20 years in the game. And, well, nobody could play. I mean, few guys have done it. But most guys that became fully vested, they would be a player for a decade, and then they would be a big league coach or a manager for the other 10 years, and they would qualify for 20 years. Well, in 1985, that all got changed, and you became fully vested in your pension after 10 years, which was a big significant deal. More guys became fully vested. In our generation, we made good money, but we didn't make enough money to live the rest of our lives on. Everybody had at some point to go out and find another gig. This generation of player is a little different than our generation, because our guys looked at coaching or managing as extending their career in the big leagues, but it's also a job. So when one got offered to you, you gave it no second thought. You just jumped in. Let's go. What we're seeing now, because of the guys in the game for the last 25 years, 30 years, they've made enough money to where if they manage their money, they really don't have to look for another job. And it's affecting the jobs at the big league level for ex-players who have made this kind of money. And we're seeing now guys, and Nick Hundley has been a name that has really been hot amongst the hot stove discussions about a possibly taking over the helm and being the manager of the Giants next year. But the reality of it is Nick Hundley made some good money in the game. He played a long time. And he's also a father with 2 girls in high school in San Diego. And, his wife is having a lot to say about this decision. She wants him home, and it's affecting the decision. We saw it happen here in Reno with Chris Jimenez. You remember him? Really a great player, plays catcher, and he played 10 years. But he was also a coach, and he could be a manager tomorrow if he wanted to. And his wife has made her opinion that she wants him there to be there for the children. And you say, well, wait a second, it's a big league coach managing job. Those chances don't come around very often. And the wife will simply look at you and say, well, being a parent to my children only comes around once in life too. You have to take advantage of it. So we're seeing it affect some of the guys that we have seen the last couple of decades that we really thought would be great managers, but they have prioritized with their families. And so I think, it's affecting some of the really hot candidates out there this year, or guys that you would think would walk right into it should they want to. But the family has become more important, and financially they can make that statement.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And you know what? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there, and we're not going to name any names, but guys that probably played for the Giants not long ago. Smart guys that Buster probably really likes, but maybe they don't live here, or maybe they got family life somewhere else, and maybe they live on the East Coast, or maybe there's a lot of reasons why a guy may not want to take the job, right? And Mike, you just mentioned some very, very, maybe the most important ones, but sometimes geography is a thing too, and I'm sure there's some smart people out there that the Giants would love to have, but maybe it's just not in their plans right now.
Yeah, this is not a job hire that you rush into.
No.
Because it's I mean, you're going to have to make a commitment for probably 3 years at least if you're going to hire a new manager. So if it means taking your time to do it, then take your time to do it. By the way, I'm not interested in it. If I was, Mike would be my pitching coach, and I'll tell you what, we would have a hell of a time. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, we definitely would. Being in the yard, come on. I mean, how lucky are all of us that have had a life in baseball? It's just too good. It's just too good. But we also know that about Zach Manassian, they will be thorough. They will interview however many it takes to have a concrete opinion as to who should take over this team. And this is a very desirable job. This is a great city. It's a great history. and the fans are second to none. And if you could bring a championship to this town, you know that you will be immortal. We've seen it happen with Dusty Baker and Bruce Bochy. I mean, the love that these fans have for him, it's unbelievable. It's inspiring.
Woohoo!
Well, it's going to be interesting, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. But listen, I mean, we all have pretty good faith in Buster and his guys, and you know what? Whoever they pick, they'll be all in it together, ready to move forward. So let's hope it all works out. I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate Kruk and Kuip stopping by. Mike, you're the best. Could you give me one more yawn, just so I can laugh before I go to sleep?
That's great. Now I have
what?
Double hernia. Thanks for that.
I mean, that's only appropriate because we're talking about at least now 20 minutes past our bedtime.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to get you guys. I want to get you guys out of here. Hey, Mike, thank you, Duane. Thank you very much. I'd love to have you guys on again later on, maybe before the winter meetings. But as always, great stuff. I appreciate both you guys stopping by. Kruk and Kuip. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Glenner.
All right, Duane Kuiper, Mike Krukow. Doesn't get a lot better than those two, and man, are they fun. They are legitimately fun. And I know, I'm biased. One's my brother, the other one is one of my favorite people in the world. But you must admit they are a fun group. So always great to sit and talk to them, especially in the off season. Before I head out, what I do want to do is I want to take a look at a few of the comments. I don't want to miss anything there because the viewers are great and I like to check in. So just be patient with me. Just have some fun. Patrick says, do Kuip remember when Santa Claus caught 2 foul balls during the game with a JT Snow at bat? You know what, Patrick? I'm sure they do. I don't think there's any doubt that they do. Let's just I just want to whip through this a little bit because I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Remember this call? Bake that dough. This is not good, folks. That may be, all the great home run calls that my brother Duane has made, and there's been a lot of them thanks to Bonds and everybody. But a lot of people remember that one, and it was a walk-off hit by the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field, which is pretty funny if you think about it. All right, hold on. I want to check with this one yet. We got to get in, bake that dough with a super chat. What is going to take to give Duane and Mike their well-deserved Ford C. Frick Award? Thank you for all you do for Giants fans everywhere. Well, Duane's on the ballot again, so maybe this is the year. Who knows? We'll find out. I wish they could both go in. I don't know that that's going to happen, but who knows? Maybe they'll vote Duane in this year. I think he's been on it 2 or 3 times. We'll see. But enjoy Kruk and Kuip as long as you can. Listen, they're not young guys anymore. Duane's 75 years old and he sounds good and he's healthy, so he's going to do this for as long as he can. But enjoy them. They're certainly Bay Area treasures, and so just enjoy them as long as they are around. So hope you enjoyed Kruk and Kuip. I certainly did. I knew that you would. I was glad to have them on, and you know what? They'll come on anytime. They're great, and so I appreciate that. So we're going to wrap up the show. Check in with our sponsors one more time. The Kehrig Real Estate Team. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or making your first purchase, trust the Kehrig Real Estate Team to guide you home. Contact them right now at 925-548-4132. It's the Kehrig Real Estate Team at kehrigteam.com. And we're also brought to you by Tilden Properties. As an investor, one of the best places to put your money is California's multi-family real estate. Bay Area-based and family-owned, Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. They are always looking for investors. You should be one of the lucky ones. 925-209-8558. And look at their portfolio at tildenproperties.com. And we're also brought to you by Valone Insurance. Are you tired of being overcharged on your property insurance? Valone Insurance has multiple options for your home and landlord properties. Save big money on your property insurance. Call Kyle or Ron at Valone Insurance, 925-433-8271. All right, that's it for tonight's show, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to Kruk and Kuip for checking in. And remember, check out my YouTube channel. It's got some new videos out. We're putting videos out. There's shorts out. And, of course, all the live shows are there. All the videos, the live shows, they're all there. You can watch them at any time you want. So good stuff. We're trying to turn out as much inventory as we can for you to enjoy. So get to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, and I hope you're enjoying everything that we're putting out there. So thanks again for checking in. Kruk and Kuip, thanks for joining us. And that is it for another edition of the Glenn Kuiper Show. Have a good one, everybody.